Silent holding around number 30 Broad Street.
2 deadly shootings in just 4 hours last night in Indianapolis and tonight.
It's a dark world when you're living like me, with pain and unhappiness, no peace, hardly any sleep because you wonder, are you going to get any answers? Is this going to stop? Who's next?
In 2002, Ernestine's stepson, Clarence Havard Jr., murdered. In 2003, her second stepson, Charles Havard, murdered. And then in 2015, it was her own son, 32-year-old Clarence Havard III, murdered. All 3 cases still unsolved.
There's no closure. So my family is broken, destroyed. We don't have family time. Everyone is just, it's so different now. It's like we're living in a different world, a different life, unfair. Lots of tears, anger. It makes you feel like your faith, you don't have faith anymore or hope. Because there's no answers.
You are a leader in our city. You lead the Civil Rights Commission.
Yes.
You're also on the board of the Black Expo.
Yes.
But you're also a dad who has a broken heart.
Yes. I'm a dad first, always.
Yeah.
I have children that I try to raise to do the right thing. And I think anybody, when you lose someone, is very difficult anyway. But when you lose someone to violence, it's different. It's something that's taken, and then you start reliving them, how they felt. Because as a parent, one of your jobs, it's always been my job, is to protect your children. Mm-hmm. And you feel like you didn't do that. And you ask yourself, what could you have done over and over? And that's what all these parents out here. I talk to so many of these parents who have these losses. And so the jobs and things that I do are important because I believe in serving. I was serving in the military. I believe in serving. I serve my neighborhood. But I also want to serve to help those other parents who have broken hearts, and even work with organizations like 10 Point to even help stop some of these parents from having a broken heart.
If you didn't have 10 Point, the streets would be even worse than what they are now. They just wouldn't be the same, you know, and with 10 Point coming in to help, there are people who feeling some hope in our community now. We feel like we can walk to our store or walk to our mailbox or anything with feeling like we won't be robbed or something.
When we talk about our young people, where they are today,
right.
The significance of 10 Point working with the police department in concert, how important is that?
Yeah, that's very important because the youth, they actually need that mentorship. They actually need the direction. What I find out is a lot of them don't have the direction. They want to change their situation, and they just need the leadership, the adult contact to point them in the right direction and give them actually confidence in themselves. Because many of them don't believe they have the power to change their situation.
It's young men of color between the ages of 12 and 24 that are disproportionately impacted by the violence. They're most likely to go to prison. They're most likely to drop out of school. They're most likely to be jobless. So that is the group that we really focus on, because when you watch the news, it is that group that is most likely is going to be the victim or the perpetrator of violent crimes, you know, not just here locally, but also nationally. So that's who we're really targeting. And people who are part of this initiative are able to really make an impact, not just on their lives, but on the lives of the families that they come from, because we really focus on the family too. You know, most people just see us, you know, on TV and, you know, individuals that are walking in their vests in the neighborhood, but most people don't know what's really going on behind the scenes, and a lot of work that is being done prior to people even being on the streets, you know, understanding what's going on in the neighborhoods, building those community relationships. And we try to understand what's going on the ground in order for us, in partnering with all the community stakeholders, to begin to address these issues so that we have a long-term impact on the neighborhood and getting young people out of the game, out of the underground economy, to become productive citizens in our society. And that's really the challenge and what we really spend a lot of time doing.
We're good at what we do, but everything doesn't need an enforcement piece to it. Even having access to resources that we don't have, housing, food, jobs.
Yeah.
So they're able to do those kind of things.
We work with the neighborhoods, we get residents, we get OGs, and people don't know what OGs are. We call them original gangsters. These are individuals who at one time were part of the problem. Most of them are ex-offenders. They have turned their life around, and they want to give back to the community. And this has been helpful in connecting, and these individuals are walking the neighborhood, engaging people, and trying to provide wraparound services for them in these neighborhoods 5 nights a week. Butler Tarkington was ground zero. So Butler Tarkington went really 2.5 years without anybody being killed. We saw an 85% reduction in the 4 combined neighborhoods when it came to murders in those 4 neighborhoods combined.
This is all our responsibilities, and I don't think that we've done it to the level that we need to, and that has to be a collaborative effort between public, private, and community, standing up to stop lives from being lost. I mean, this pain is not going to go away, but I had to learn to feel it by doing other things to try to save another life so another parent won't feel what I feel.
And if you've got a group that's willing to take the leadership role in that, to kind of be a focal point for everybody, you got to get behind that.
Because we all are in this together.
We're all in it together. No, none of us can do it alone.
That's right.